Let's jump right into a review of an abrasive cutoff saw for metal versus a saw blade. Just got a new dry cut saw. This happens to be the Iron Ton from Northern Tool, and I've had this Milwaukee abrasive saw for a number of years. Some of the things that I like in between these two saws is the new platform that's associated with the dry cutoff saw. Notice that it's level all the way across, so when you're having a short piece you don't have a drop off, versus my Milwaukee, that was always a problem. You come over here and then there's a drop off. The platform isn't even for something coming off the other side here. And I was recently cutting some heavier I-beam, and notice with the chop saw that's abrasive how much of a tag that there is left behind. And I was kind of thinking I would preserve my new metal cutting blade, but I compared the two. This is the chop saw. It's with the abrasive blade, it's not as square. Notice there's some blade wobble. And then this is with the metal cutting blade. That's pretty impressive. It's much more square and it's a clean cut. And I noticed that anytime I needed to trim up something on the abrasive saw, if you come down and notice that if you're trying to do something like a small trim up, there's that much wobble in this. So as you would come down and close on your piece, notice that there's flex in the blade. That makes it where it's not a cleanup. I was able to go back and do a really thin, fine cleanup on the blade because it's cutting so much better and it's stiffer, obviously. So I was just making some cleanups of some 45-degree angles. I had cut 20-foot sticks and inadvertently didn't have it dead set on my 45, or with the 20-foot stick it wobbled a little bit, and I was able to come back in and do like a really fine trim up job with this blade and see how nice and crisp that edge is. And I can compare it in, this is the cleaned up one. That's a really nice 45 for a 90, versus when I had just done a rougher cut. There was a little bit of an angle difference there, so it was really important to take the time to mark on your own gauges here. This is the miter block. Now for my eye, the 45 doesn't really match up with the stripe, so I took a scratch awl and a Sharpie pen and labeled these, and then I also found that it was useful go ahead and put a stripe right down here, so over time there can be a little bit of wobble with the heavier work that we're doing. And a couple little things that I think I would make some improvements on, and I'll do this as an aftermarket issue. One, I think I'm going to do a bigger washer underneath this because of the crank handle that's used. It's a little bit wobbly, and I think a bigger washer, see how that's just hanging in that groove, a bigger washer there would be an easier enough thing to replace. And then the same thing in this mechanism that's going to press and hold your work. I think there's plenty enough room to tighten this up just with a little bit more of a washer effect. So if you see right underneath there, I think another washer would help. And also looking underneath the saw, that could have a wider fender washer, and I think I'm going to grind and clean up that channel that it slides back and forth in to make that a little bit better action. But overall I'm happier with this setup than I am the standard abrasive saw setup. It's really hard to get this to hold true for square cuts. I'm not going to get rid of my abrasive saw because I think for thicker items and let's say junk metals where you're just trying to reduce size of something, it's still a good chop saw for that mechanism. But for the more precision work, I'm really enjoying this blade. There's obviously aftermarket and other competitors. I did buy this more expensive blade, literally like $175 blade, to be my backup to the one that came in the package with this saw from Northern. But for something in the $300 range, I'm finding it's really helping out with the welding aspects. And again, kind of see for yourself the cleanliness of the cut versus that's the abrasive saw that leaves the burr behind. And then you can kind of see for yourself that's the result of using the dry chop saw blade. So I hope that's helpful information for you, and consider the price points yourself. And so far I'm really pleased with how well the dry cut blade is holding up compared to the abrasives. Good luck.